EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Darrell Spears, and this is Elite Conversations Unplugged. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are here for another dynamic show, and we have another dynamic duo in the house. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. As you know, EliteConversations.com is a company that supports small business owners, those that are startups, those that are pretty new, and our goal each and every event that we do, each and every program we have, is to provide you knowledge, to provide you resources, and to provide you the connections that you need. So we're excited to have another Elite Conversations Unplugged. As you can see, there's no paper, no notes. That's why we call it Elite Conversations Unplugged, because everything is from the hip, and we have a great couple. Before I move forward, I want to thank Larry and Sherry Henry. For those that did not see the call last week, I would definitely encourage you to go check it out. You can find it on, not LinkedIn, but YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in EliteConversations.com. They talked about taxes, and they gave a lot of great tips for small business owners in terms of taxes and what you can do to help keep some of that money you've made. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to thank them. They are the owners of Savvy King Consulting, and they specialize in tax and financial concepts to help you not just on tax season, but to help you set up your business so that you're operating efficiently throughout the year. So I want to thank those guys. Again, we're talking about Elite Conversations, and that name, the question comes up all the time. What is EliteConversations.com? And again, for us, our goal is to make sure that the conversations in the room are more important than the people in the room. It's all about what's shared, the knowledge that's shared. When you walk away from a conversation, we want you to feel like you've gained more knowledge, you've shared something positive. So it's so important for us and for the callers and listeners that come on to the show to walk away with something positive. So with that said, I am so excited about tonight. We have a dynamic couple with us. Mr. Alan Andrews and Mrs. Kim Andrews. Let's give them a big hand. I hear y'all out there standing and giving them a standing ovation. But I appreciate you guys for coming in. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about startups. We're in an age now where a lot of more people are starting up companies, entrepreneurs. People are maybe working full-time and then moving into a entrepreneurship. A lot of millennials, they are really passionate about what they do. And at this day and time, even millennials are leaving college and going right into entrepreneurship and not necessarily thinking about working for a company 20, 30 years like our parents made us do. Mm-hmm. And that's why I sort of want to start with you, Alan, because I am encouraged. I'm really impressed about you because you've been in your business for over 20 years now, right?
25 years.
25 years. Yes, and you took a leap out there back in a time where that was unheard of. So what you're doing, what millennials are doing now, leaving college and going right into the entrepreneurship world, which is huge. And that takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of tenacity to really go out there and operate your business. So share a little bit about that and just what made you do that without going right into corporate America or getting training? Where did that come from?
Well, it's a long story. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I left high school and went to Hampton, the Institute, in 1982.
All right.
And I did 2 years down there. came back home and decided I wanted to. I was intrigued by college, but it was something else that was really intrigued me about maybe starting my own business, but I didn't have any reference point to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working. I worked in the federal government for a year or so, and then I ran into a friend of mine who had his own business in at the end of 1985, a courier company.
Mm-hmm.
It was Personal Courier, Mark Barnes,
Mm-hmm.
and I approached him and said, "Hey, look, I see what you're doing. I'd like to come work for you." He was like, "Come on down and work for you." So I worked with him for about 3 years and learned the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so impressed about seeing a young man my age. We were we were 21, 22, running a company with 15, 20 people working for him. And a contemporary of
Mm-hmm.
mine, and that really intrigued me. And when I saw him executing that, that got my juices going. I was like, "This is what I want to do." So I watched him and watched how he ran his company and saw the success that he had, and an opportunity presented itself for me to start my own company. He got out of the courier business
Mm-hmm.
about 1990 and started a promotions company. He was working in concert with Andre Harrell and I forgot the name of his company, but he was working with him and Sean Puffy Combs,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing some work for them,
Mm-hmm.
and he started his own
And that
promotional
opened the
company.
door for you. Mm-hmm.
Started Chase Rocker Productions, and I was working with Mark with him with that as well. We used to bring in major artists like Mary J. Blige and Jeff Red, Christopher Williams. I mean, Jodeci. We did a lot of that stuff, and we did like parties and stuff like that, the party scene around the D.C. area. And then opportunity presented itself for me to start my own company. So I started a courier service in 1992, and I've been around since
Excellent.
then,
Yes, right.
and I've had
That's
I've had
awesome.
success, and
Some of the same clients.
it's been a journey, an adventure, but
We'll talk about that real quick, because I think that's important for those that are listening that are thinking about starting their own business. 25 years, what was some of the things that took you through that? How did you get through some of the hurdles and the obstacles in achieving the success that you have over that 25-year period? What are some of the things they should look for as a startup?
Well, first of all, you've got to be fully convinced in your mind that you can accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And although I say I was fully convinced, I had a support system behind me. I had my mother
Mm-hmm.
and my family, and I had my girlfriend who turned into my fiance, who turned into my wife. People just kind of cheering me on to tell me that, hey, you can do this. You have the capacity, the competency, the skill to be able to do this thing on your own. And that's the first thing, to have a support system. And then the second thing is to be able to know the space that you're in and be able to have expertise in it. So I knew the business, that courier space, because I'd worked as a courier, and then the times that Mark would travel and go away, he would allow me to run the company. So I had that experience as well. So I had a support system with me. I had the experience to do it, and then I guess just the skill set of being able to the relationships that I had forged when I was working as a courier, the companies that I was dealing with, the customer service, the level of service that I gave to the clients. When it was time for me to be able to go out and say, hey, look, I have my own company. Would you consider using me as your delivery service? It was a no-brainer. It was like, hey, look, we've seen your level of service. We've seen the way you you've handled us, when you work for Personal Courier, we'll give you a try, and that's how it started out. That's how I was able to be successful with that.
That's excellent. That is awesome. And we have your wonderful wife here again. That's been the backbone. And Kimberly Andrews, just sharing a little bit. She is a training and consultant of small business owners, and she trains them on how to get financing, developing a winning business strategy, strategic marketing and advertising. She's an expert in 8A government certification, Smart Start 101. So she has a wealth of knowledge in terms of startups, Kim. And I know your background is strong. Share a little bit, first of all, about your background, and then what are some of the things that you see, because you see business owners and you understand some of the issues and stuff they have in your world and the expertise you provide. What are some of the things that you've seen with small business owners that you can help enlighten those that are listening?
Well, thank you for having us today, Darrell. And one of the things I'd like to share is that what my husband neglected to say is a great multitasker. Mm-hmm. You have to be a great multitasker because sometimes he was the manager, sometimes you're the employee, sometimes you're the receptionist. So you have to be able to wear multiple hats when you become a business owner. And you can't be too filled with yourself to not be able to come to the level that you're going to have to be able to wear multiple hats as a business owner, because I've seen my husband wear multiple hats. The other thing, Darrell, my background is primarily sales. I work for Kimberly Clark and Johnson & Johnson in medical device sales, but then decided to go on to do real estate and then advertising for mid-sized businesses with WJLA ABC Channel 7. And when I left Channel 7 after 5 years, I decided to start my own advertising agency, and I was going to learn all types of advertising. So went on to learn broadcast. That was broadcast. Went on to learn cable with Comcast Spotlight, and then digital online advertising, pay-per-click as well. And one thing that I see on a daily basis, Darrell, is that people forget the marketing. The marketing and the advertising is the number one crucial element to starting a small business. If you don't already have a book of clients, no one knows you exist unless you do some marketing, sales, and advertising. And that's where we come in as the business power couple, trying to guide you and develop a marketing and advertising plan that can benefit you in getting those customers. Because I see people every day, they develop the business cards, they do a lot of other peripheral things to look good on the outside, but they forget you gotta let people know I exist, I'm open, I'm available to you to serve you. So you got to get out there, and whether it's online advertising, whether it's print, radio, television, pay-per-click, you really got to get out there and advertise. And if you get a little bit of money, number one first, it should go to your marketing and advertising.
That's true. And like you say, people have to know you're there. There are a lot of great small businesses out here that have great services to offer, but people can't find them, and you really have to pay attention to that and get people on your team that can do that. Because even if you have the money, sometimes you're putting money out there the wrong way.
That's true.
And you have to make sure that they're doing that. I want to definitely welcome Dawn Muhammad and Rachel Klein for joining us tonight. You guys were excellent at the Entrepreneur Night. For those, again, we had Entrepreneur Night 3 weeks ago where we brought a lot of business owners there, and we had what was called the Knowledge Zone. And Kim and Alan was one of our pair in our Knowledge Zone. And every time I looked back there in the offices, you guys were working. I mean, y'all were educating, and I can see you out there working with the experts. What are some of the challenges as a new business owner that you see in terms of outside of marketing, I know a lot of individuals think about a business plan. They think about, their name and their entity and how to set all that up. For you guys and what you provide to small business owners, what are you looking at helping them with primarily?
Well, primarily we're looking to help guide them some of the basics with helping them with a business plan. They have to know the target market that they're going to target for their specific products, know a little bit about the competition because they have to know where they stand in the scale of their competition, what's unique about them. There are already other businesses out there that do the same thing you do. So what sets you apart? What's unique about what you do? And what's special where people are going to actually leave existing businesses that may have been there for 5 or 10 years and come to you, someone new on the market. And then they really have to know how to develop a great marketing and advertising plan and sales plan. And if they don't have a lot of money, something you said, Darrell, which was key, and we really did a lot of it that night, you had the entrepreneurial night, is develop networks and relationships with people. So whether it's educating people, and then at the end of your educational seminar, you tell people about the products and services you offer, there are very unique ways to get your message out to your target audience without necessarily spending a lot of money. And most importantly, they have to know pricing, how to price their products and services, making sure they're competitive in the market, exactly, and making sure they have good profit margins so that they're not losing money and that all their money is going to production or distribution, and they have a good market share. So there are a lot of things that we can help you with in that arena, and we've experienced it as well as can help educate you on that.
Yeah, and the key is because it's two of you guys, you already understand how important it is to operate as a team. We were on a conference together a couple of nights ago, and we talked about working together as a team. And then I read a statistic today that blew me away. It was saying that business owners that have more than one founder are 30% more likely to succeed in that first 5 years. So to me, that tells me the importance of sharing information. I mean, you guys are couples, so you can bounce information to one another all the time.
Yes.
And that's a big factor in terms of your success, because it's tough when you're out there, you're by yourself, you're a solopreneur or whatever. Can you Alan, share some of the resources that you have used to help you obtain knowledge that wasn't costly? I mean, I know you want to do the conferences, but there are a lot of organizations out there, along with the great service that you provide entrepreneurs. Are there other ways that new startups can get information and knowledge?
Yeah, there's a place called the Small Business Development Center, and they offer a free consultation on services for small businesses. The Women's Business Center does the same as far as offering free services to business owners as well. The one thing I would recommend is that people look for a mentor, somebody that's been in business before, because that's someone that's kind of, like my husband has already stated, they've pounded the pavement. They've already went through the bumps in the road. And so they could help you avoid some of those bumps you may tend to go through. I mean, within my husband's business, he's had major contracts with Federal Express and UPS, and we've had people that try to come in and undercut you. We've had to do bids, and the business world can be very treacherous once you get in there. There's ups and downs. So you gotta kind of have a mentor, somebody that can help you navigate a little bit when there are tough decisions to be made.
That's excellent. And let's talk a little bit about that, Alan, in terms of negotiating contracts and stuff like that. I was, a lot of people think that I've just started my own business for the first time, but one of my first businesses was in college. One of the ways to help pay my way through school is I started a vendor business. I had a vending machine. So if you were in D.C. around the mid to early 90s, pretty much all of the clubs and the health clubs and stuff had vending machines in the men's room in particular, and they were cologne machines.
Okay.
Oh,
So you go in, you put the quarter in. We had some women machines too. And the thing is, I never told anyone about the business. So I would go, and I would, back in the day, we were at the club, right?
Yes, yeah.
And you hear people come out, I was like, man, guess what? There's a cologne machine.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Me too.
Those were all mine back then.
Machine.
Yes.
So I made more money than I thought. It actually helped pay my way through college.
Mm-hmm.
But the blessing out of all of that is I had to learn how to go in and negotiate. Because you have to go in, you have to talk to the owners and negotiate, a percentage of what they get. I had to learn how to maintenance the machines and all that good stuff. So I think that's a key component for new business owners is to understand how to negotiate in the business world. So for your contracts, for your carrier business, how important is that, and what are some good ways for new business owners to obtain negotiation skills?
Well, one of the things that I've used and it has been successful for me is I've always, when I'm dealing with a client, when I'm dealing with a customer, I try to build a relationship with them. I try to get some sort of a foothold into them, through relationships, and the relationships will take you a long way. And a lot of the customers and a lot of people that I deal with now, and even to this day, I've had them the whole time, my whole 25-year run, and it's because of the relationships that I've built with them. It's almost like family, and that helps when you want to negotiate when you're dealing with having to raise the price on them, or just the different aspects of that. Just having a great relationship, trying to build relationships with the people that you're going to be dealing with, not just a transactional relationship, but a real robust relationship with these people. That's been very successful for me. Like I say, when the tough times come, when even sometimes when their money's not coming in, the way they want it to come in, and you need to get paid. You can go in there and sit down and close the door and say, hey, look, and have a real conversation with these people and be able to get money from them and stuff of that nature. But it's the relationship. And it's extremely important that you build strong relationships with your clients and with your just like with your customers, but with your clients, with the people that you're servicing.
What's so funny, I was getting ready to say when my husband said that, is he is excellent at collecting money. I don't know if you guys know out there, as small business owners, you also have to be a bill collector. And he is great. He has no shame in his game. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't believe you said that. He is excellent at collecting money.
Well, one of the things, like you say, when you build a relationship with people, then you can go and have the hard conversations with them. You can say, hey, look, Mr. Joe Smith, hey, I need to get that. Hey, I've got some things that are coming up on my plate as well. How are we looking? When can I get this payment for them? So it's relationships though. If I didn't have a relationship with my people, with my clients, with the people that I service, then I wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to go and talk to them like that. But I establish relationships with every single one of them, and hey, it works out.
And also, you say that relationships are good, but guess what? Over 25 years, I guarantee you had to be putting out some quality too. Because I don't care
absolutely.
how friendly you are.
Right.
That's right.
You can be the best friends, but if you're not bringing me value, I'm not going to get paid. And it's hard to make it 25 years unless you're giving quality service. So talk a little bit about that quality service and just how important, and have there been instances where the service wasn't there that you learned from, and just talk about the importance of that quality.
One of the things that my wife and we always talk about is customer service, and how do you service a client, the way you treat them, and that's probably the most important thing that you can do, is be able to, when you say you're going to do something for a client, that you do it, that you execute it the way that you say you're going to do it. And customer service for me, for my company, is the preeminent thing. I always want to be able to anticipate what the customer is going to need, and even think about things that they might not have thought about, and then execute them for them. So that's been a success thing for me. I have a client, a pretty big client. It's Palace Florists, and I do floral deliveries for them. And every year around Valentine's Day, it gets very, very hectic. That's like the biggest day of the year for them.
Right, exactly.
And so I've been servicing them for years. But what I've done is I've studied what they, how they do it, how they execute it. And basically I've come in and run their whole supply chain, during Valentine's Day. And I didn't come in and ask them what I should do. I went in there, studied, watched what was going on, and saw a need, and then attacked that and fulfilled that need for them. So I'm like an invaluable asset to them. So when it comes around to Valentine's Day, they're calling me. I basically work for them during that time, because I'm running their whole supply chain, the distribution side of it. So, but I always make sure that I understand the needs and anticipate the needs for them, and then execute those for them. They don't have to ask me about what I should do. In fact, he'll come and say, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Already handled that." He'd be like, "Good." So just good customer service, being able to study your client, analyze a client, and anticipate the need of the client, and then execute it, without them telling you what to do. So that's just good customer service. So that's one of the things that's helped me be successful with that. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, just to talk a little bit about that. And when we come back, Kim, speaking on that in terms of customer service, I want you to sort of share, because you have a strong background in public relations, and why it's important not only have quality service, but to make sure that your brand and your name stays strong, and share with startups how to even recover when your name is damaged. Because a lot of times we're new, we make some bad mistakes that could really just ruin that brand. And it's hard to get customers, so I want to definitely share with that. So we're going to take a quick 45 seconds and have a quick commercial with our sponsor, Remax Supreme. I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Remax Supreme, and Melanie Gamble for being our sponsor for tonight. Melanie Gamble is a real estate firm, franchise owner, and broker with nearly 15 years of proven experience in helping clients sell and buy homes in Maryland and in Washington, D.C. In her career to date, she has been recognized as a top-producing Remax real estate agent and been honored by her inclusion in the Remax Hall of Fame. Providing top-notch, personalized customer service and guaranteeing excellence are her hallmarks for her client. For her, helping to own and keep your home is not only a business endeavor, but a personal passion and spiritual mission. As a cancer survivor, she is acutely aware of how precious life and time is for all of us. She seeks to help others make the most of what they are given. So we want to thank Melanie Gamble and the Remax Supreme team for sponsoring Elite Conversation Unplugged for today. Thank you. All right, Kimberly. So getting back to our discussion, PR, branding, all of that is key. Like Alan said, you have to provide the quality service. And on top of that, you want to protect your brand. So being able to deliver what you promise. A lot of times as small business owners, we want to be quick to get our product and stuff out there. And we don't have the systems in place to protect that product. So you sell it to one person and do it one way, and then you get another order and it's done a whole nother way, and it's not consistent. So why is it important to protect your brand, and what should a small business do if they are in that situation where their brand has been damaged because they don't provide that quality?
That's a great question, Darrell, and I'm so glad you asked that question. One thing that my husband mentioned, which was great, with the customer service, that same customer we've developed a relationship with, whereas I know he and his wife and I were pregnant at the same time. We had babies the same time. We know each other's family. You want to make sure, and I tell all of my clients this, that you develop a customer service plan. And when I say a customer service plan, I mean a plan in advance. So what happens when you start a small business, you start getting really busy and everything just starts happening really fast and orders are coming down really fast. And then, oops, someone calls and they have a problem. And because you're so busy, you kind of overlook that. Okay, I'll get back with you and put it to the side. And you're still going, you're fulfilling those orders. And you forget to address that customer service issue. What happens? They go on social media. They blast your company negatively with negative reviews. They're never going to use you again. So what you want to do is have a plan, a customer service plan in advance. That means who's going to be the point person that handles customer service issues, what you're going to do to address those customer service issues. Are you going to address them with a letter? Are you going to address them with a phone call? What type of compensation are you going to give? Do you give a gift card? Do you give some percent of your service? Do you give something that you can give for free within your organization that doesn't cost you a lot? But how are you going to address that customer expediently and making sure that you have addressed all of their pain points that they have throughout the process so that they'll use you again? Because the greatest asset of a small business is to get value customers to use your products and services over and over again. That's the great thing that my husband has been able to do. Some of the same clients from the beginning he's had all the way to the end. Never gone to another company. And that's what you want to do, because if you give great follow-up, and if you have great customer service, there's always going to be, we're human. So there's going to be times that we make mistakes. And the thing about it is, it may not be you making the mistakes, but you have other people working for you. And the thing with that is that sometimes employees don't value the business as much as you value the business as the owner. So because they're not necessarily vested in that business, you want to make sure that you also are doing something to keep your internal customers happy. That's your employees. So whether it's things to boost their morale, whether it's, picnics, whether it's gift cards at certain times, because those people are also the touch points of your customers.
That's right.
So you want to make sure that they're providing the same level of service that you're going to provide as the CEO. So having that customer service plan established before you even open the doors to that business is key. So that when you get busy, you don't overlook it. You're never letting someone go by the wayside. You're always addressing customer service issues.
Wow, that's huge. That's outstanding. And we are talking to Alan and Kim Andrews, the business power couple who specializes in helping small business owners get their business set up, get their structure set up, understand a lot of what we're talking about today, providing quality, your customer service and brand and marketing. And we're going to move into the last segment of our show. And I always set up my my experts, and I really didn't brief you guys, but for each one of our shows, and you've been on a couple of my other shows, so you know what we do. We are always focused on making sure that whoever's listening, whoever's on a call or at our events, that they leave with something they can use right away. So I want to ask each one of you 3 questions, and I'll tell you what the questions are so you can have a chance to think about them. The first is, what drives you? What motivates you? What are some of the principles that take you through the tough times of entrepreneurship, the ups and downs? The second is to share a resource that you use. It could be an app. It could be a service that would be helpful to business owners that are listening. And then the last question is that to spotlight a business owner that you know or do business with that you think some of our listeners might want to tap into and use their services. So I'll start with the Mrs. first. Kim, just share a little bit about, what drives you, what keeps you going, what wakes you up in the morning and gets you through those tough times on a daily basis.
Thanks, Darrell. And I just thank you so much for having us today. For me, it's inspirational words. I have a dear friend of mine, was a coworker of mine that actually passed away today. But she always gave me words of inspiration every morning, and they would make my day.
Wow.
And when you said that, it just made me think of her words of inspiration, telling you, you can do it. You were made for this. God has something bigger and better in store for you. Don't get down. I mean, they were powerful. So words of inspiration. I love motivational minutes. I love motivational speakers. I listen to E.T. Eric Thomas and his university. Was it Breathe University? That's right. That helps inspire me. So things like that help get me going every day.
All right. I love it. I love it. What are some resources that you use? You think individuals, especially small business owners and startups, are there resources out there they should tap into?
Yeah, definitely. I would go onto the SBA website. They have a lot of great helpful resources on the SBA website. I also use a lot of resource partners. I have a great CPA that I use on a regular basis that helps people with getting their tax information together. Not only helps you when it's time for Uncle Sam to come, but prepare you before Uncle Sam gets here, and strategies on being able to make the most of your profits and revenues and how to structure your business correctly. So her name is Salome Tinker, and I use her for a lot of my training. She's sensational. And then I think one of the, you can go ahead, Darrell.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And then the person I would really love to spotlight is a business partner of mine. His name is Patrick Pete, and he is the gift coach. And we're doing something called Your Gifts Conference with Patrick Pete.
That's right.
But one great thing about Patrick, he is motivational to me. And Patrick will help you find what your gift is, what your gifting is. The great thing about that is if you know what your gifting is and you walk in your gifting, we can help you turn your passion into profits, but Pete can help you discover that gift and what really drives and motivates you, so you're not working a day in your life. It's just like you're walking in your purpose.
Wow. And how would individuals reach out to Patrick Pete? You have his website or?
It's PatrickPete.com.
PatrickPete.com.
Yep, PatrickPete.com.
Excellent. So what about you, my man, Alan? What drives you and keeps you motivated every morning?
Man, that's a loaded question. Well, I mean, really, my faith.
Amen.
The inner confidence I have with my relationship with the Lord. That gets me going. In fact, that really gets me going every morning, because when you wake up, sometimes you wake up and you want to face the day, and you're like, wow, can I handle this? But my faith, and also just an inner confidence that this path, this road that has been set before me is something that has been planned and ordained for me to walk through. Although it gets difficult, there is purpose in what I do. There's purpose for me, and having a business, having a company. There is purpose for being a business owner. So that that really drives me to get up each and every morning and start it all over again. That purpose.
Excellent.
Also though, I meant to mention this when you first the first question way back when. As being an African American, being a role model, and being able to show the world that you can accomplish things, and be a business owner, staying out there on your own, and really make a difference for the community. So I always wanted to be able to represent my race, in a positive light, and show that there was nothing that we couldn't do, we couldn't accomplish if we set our minds to it. And I know you hear that all the time. That's kind of cliche-ish, but it's the truth,
That's right.
And whatever we set our minds to, we can do it.
That's right.
So that's what keeps me going as well.
Oh, right. That's excellent. What are some of the resources out there that you might be familiar with that individuals might want to tap into?
Well, one of the things that I use, I'm always on the internet, gathering information about my workplace and the things that are out there, new avenues and new ventures as far as or new strategies as far as what I do with my business. So I'm an avid internet gatherer of information. So I mean, nothing specific, just kind of always trying to gather new information, and always reading different things and new articles, and just trying to gather just an information gather, I guess, more or less so.
Excellent. And last but not least, who would you like to spotlight?
I'd like to spotlight a company that I use. I mean, a company that uses me. It's called Palace Florist.
Okay.
And they've been in business since 1943. I'm pretty sure that's the date. Yep, 1943. And I've been dealing with them for 30 years, and they're owned by Lee Herman, and they're located in Rockville, Maryland. You can reach them at palaceflorist.com. Yeah, but they're a great floral place, and they have a family atmosphere. And one of the things that I like about them, I mean, it's like he's my brother, and actually Lee is Lee married into the family. It was run by Steve Doloff before, and he retired. But Lee married his daughter, and now he's running the company. And it's a family atmosphere, a great place where they give out great service. And,
excellent.
Beautiful arrangements, and it's an excellent company, Palace Floors.
Yeah. One thing, though, Darrell, if you don't mind me sharing, is remember when we talked about being able to pass on generational wealth as African Americans?
Yep.
And one great thing about being a business owner is that you can pass on that legacy of wealth to your children.
That's right. I tell folks all the time, you can't pass off that job. You're making six figures. You can't pass that to your kids or whatever, but if you start a business and start a generational, start that generational wealth and just the mindset and teaching them how to move forward and progress is key. And that's something that no one can take away from them once you instill it in them. So that's awesome. So I appreciate you guys tonight. This has been awesome. You guys have been wonderful. So we're going to get ready to check out. But before we do so, let individuals know who is the Business Power Couple. How can they reach you? What do you have coming down the pike? Again, share a little bit more about the conference and just how individuals can touch base after this podcast.
Okay. We are the Business Power Couple, Alan and Kim Andrews, and we can be reached at Alan Kim. Our email address, is Alan Kim at the TBPcouple.com. We also have our URL, which is www.thebusinesspowercouple.com. Our site is currently under construction, but it will be available sometime next week. We're dealing with the web developer now, but it is thebusinesspowercouple.com. And one of the things that we're going to be doing, my wife mentioned it earlier, is we're having a conference on Saturday, May 27th at the University of Maryland, the John J. Kim building. And it's dealing with, it's Your Gifts Conference with Patrick Pete. And we're going to be one of the guests there that's supporting him, along with the Winning Hand Strategies with Milton Holt. So we're excited about that conference. We're excited about the things that are Mr. Patrick Pete is doing, and we're with him and supporting him. It's just going to be a great conference.
Yeah, and I would also like to share with the listeners that we offer 30 minutes free consultation just to kind of find out where your business is at right now and what the needs are of your business, and then we can talk about the rates from there. But we're just there to serve you and take your business to the next level.
Excellent. Well, again, this is Darrell Spears with EliteConversations.com Unplugged. Thank you guys again for always being there to support us, for checking us out again another week. Definitely want to thank Brian, Eric, Hermina, Wayne, Brandon, all the guys that checked in with us today. And I always appreciate your service. So again, this is Darrell Spears. And as I always say, every day is a good day if you do it God's way. And he is always the smartest one in the room. So I appreciate you guys. You have a great evening. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.